Welcome to part 2 here on Porky's Corner. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Let me know what you think to the video. Whether you think it's good or it's shite. Do I care? Of course I care. I get to read all comments at the end of every week. Takes me about 2 hours. Most of the comments that I get sent, it's where I get most of my one-liners from, you people, because everybody's a bit of a character, aren't they, who leaves a comment on here. They've all got plenty to say, and I ain't got a problem with that. Not wrong with free speech. But hey-ho. So we're just waiting for Terry to join us. I don't know where he is. Oh, come on, Terry. Spend half my life waiting on you. Oh, okie doke. Max is back with a win. Well done, Max Jenkins. He moves to 2-1. One by way of. He's got a better KO ratio than Big John Fury. Go on, Max. Maybe you and Big Shane Fury might be having a fight soon, Max, eh? That's what I'm hearing. Oh, it is what it is, isn't it? Come on, Terry, where are you? No, it is what it is, isn't it? Oh, we'll have to start it without Terry. What do I think about Yarde and Tunde? I don't really know, really. One thing that's always bothered me about boxers, sometimes they bite the hand that feeds them. And what boxers need to remember is, without the promoter, you're not going to get paid. Now, problem for me in boxing is managers. Managers are the problem. I know boxers manage themselves after 3 years, or they can, but when you've got people print spoken constantly, like Tunde, you're going to knack things up. Now, Yarde's either fighting people that are not very good, or he's fighting top guys. And the 3 defeats on Anthony Yarde's record have been against champions, haven't they? Now, the wins that he's got on his record have been against guys that are really, really, really low level tier. So, but what they've done with Yarde, they've managed to get money and not belts. Now, he's got to fight somebody now, and he needs a win, Yarde. So, but one thing about Bricktop, Yarde will be going to court. That's just how Bricktop is. Do you know what I mean? That's just how he is. So, where's Terry? Where are you, Terry? So who do I think Yarde should fight next? Well, I want to see him fight Boatsi, but we're going to see is Terry. Women love him, men want to be him.
You're right, mate. Sorry. I mean, needed a quick pit stop.
No problem. We've spoke about Fury, and it is what it is. Look, he's worth 210 million, and he's got another 40 to come. So he's had it off, hasn't he? Nobody's going to be able to tell him what to do.
If he keeps it.
If he keeps, I can assure you he'll keep it. We didn't part with nothing. Right. Yarde Tunde. Before we go back onto other heavyweights, I just want to split it up with this with Yarde and Tunde. And Bricktop. Who's at fault here? Tunde, Yarde, or Bricktop?
The problem is we don't know what the problem is, right?
I know what the problem is. Reading between the lines, I don't know exactly, but reading between the lines, look at Frank's history. Look at Yarde's. Tunde's not he's the manager in a trainer, but Yarde. Every time Yarde's stepped up, he's been beat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lyndon Arthur done him. He's a world champion. IBO world champion, though, wasn't it? Kovalev and Baturbia have all done Yarde, yeah? Right. So, and the wins he's got against low-tier guys, aren't they? You know, area level, English level guys. So, Bricktop, in my opinion, probably saying to Yarde, look, you're going to have to take a tough fight here. So they're going to say, no problem. But then when the money comes, when the money's put on the table, Yarde, in my opinion, and Tunde are going to look at that money and think, well, that ain't as much as what we got for so-and-so fight. But each fight's different, isn't it? What's your take on it, Terry? Because Bricktop said today, "I'll see you in court. You're making a massive mistake."
Right. So you don't pull a stunt like this unless you feel your contract's done, right?
Yeah.
So then the question becomes, what did the contract say? And I think we have to go back to the Beterbiev fight. So did the contract say, if you beat Beterbiev, you automatically renew for another 3 fights or another 5 fights? I don't know. Or did it say, regardless of the result in the Beterbiev fight, you renew for another 3 fights? I don't know. But it'll be something like that, because there's no way that they would have pulled this trigger unless they believe that they didn't owe Frank any more fights. I don't think it's a dispute over money. I think it's a dispute over, like, we don't really owe you any fights. Like, let's renegotiate. Now, the Porky Russ side of me thinks someone's got in Yarde's ear and said, you got paid this much to fight Kovalev. They paid Frank that much for you to fight Kovalev. Why don't you find out why the numbers are different? I think someone has said that to him. But that's not Frank's problem, by the way, because Anthony Yarde has a manager. And Anthony Yarde's manager's job is to make sure that Yarde gets every penny he's entitled to. So if there is a problem here, it's not Yarde and Frank. Frank's doing what's best for him. Tunde's job is to do what's best for Anthony Yarde.
Yeah.
So there can't be a problem between Yarde and Frank because they don't have a direct relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, let's look at it another way. They were going to put Yarde on Riyadh season at some point, right?
Yeah.
So he's just ruined all of that for what? What, to go and fight on Sky pay-per-view against Boatsy? Are you crazy?
Why?
No one's paid to watch that.
Fight that, Terry.
No, I'm not paid to watch that.
No.
Nah, it's not important to anything.
You don't think, no?
No.
What, you don't think Yarde Boatsy is a good fight?
On pay-per-view, you mad? No.
Oh, I don't think it's a pay-per-view, but it's worth 300 grand a piece, isn't it?
But they were offered one mil. Frank was offering like $1 million.
Was he?
Yeah.
And what were they saying? No.
That's why they're in court.
I mean, what? So it's got to be Tunde then, hasn't it? Really, who's the problem?
There's something that's happened in the past that's come to light now. That's an issue. I don't think it could be anything recent because, like, he hasn't done anything. Remember, he lost to Beterbiev and Frank's kind of let him fight who he wants.
Yeah.
And then it was like, right, put him in with Boatsy for the interim world title. So the winner of this will fight the guy that wins the undisputed fight. Like, you're in a great position. Why wouldn't you take that fight unless the money's wrong?
Yeah.
Unless you're saying, hold on, you're going to pay me and Boatsy whatever it is. Even if you say it's $1 million, let's say it's $1 million each. But how much are you going to cream off that? If you take that fight to Saudi, how much are you going to get paid for that fight? Why are you getting paid more than us?
Do you think, Terry, right, that this Saudi thing, right, we'll come to that in a minute, but do you think that people in the boxing industry in the UK, you've got kids 11-0, 12-0, 9-0, all of a sudden, because I've looked at about 25 different kids, there isn't that many from this country that are taking risks. In fact, the kids now that are 10-0 are fighting worse kids than they were in the first 3 fights because they're protecting their O's. And this is across the fucking board here. It's like they're all waiting for the big Saudi phone call that they all want to have a zero. And it's made fighters now not test themselves. Do you think it's had a knock-on effect?
Yeah, everyone's waiting for that Saudi money.
They're all waiting, and nobody wants to take a risk. Fighters now, like Yarde, Yard would have snapped that money up in a heartbeat 18 months ago. But now
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're like, oh, now we're going to wait. They're waiting it out. Everybody's waiting it out
Yeah.
instead of learning your craft and getting a few quid.
This is why I say to people, we need to start respecting guys like Denzel Bentley, guys like Brad Pauls, guys like Nathan Heaney, Tyler Denny. Who else do you want to put in that mix? Zach Chelly can be in that mix too. We need to start respecting these kids who, when they're offered a fight, yeah, okay. Yeah. I've never known Zach Chelly to say no to a fight. Never known Denzel to say no to a fight. Never known Brad Pauls to say no to a fight. These guys don't say no to fights.
Yeah.
And what happens? They get the love of the fans, but we don't put them in the position they deserve to be. We should be campaigning for these guys to go to Saudi because they've never failed to entertain us. But instead, I mean, these idiot hardcore fans, and it's normally the idiot hardcore fans that love to hero worship people. Oh my God, this guy's amazing. He's got an O. Oh yeah, he should be in Saudi. They're the problem. Hardcore fans of what killed boxing, man. Like, let these guys like Bentley and Pauls and Heaney, let them go to Saudi because you know you're gonna get war games out there. Stop worshipping these clowns like Joshua and Fury. Get rid of them. Move them on. And let's let these kids here who don't mind losing because they just want to fight. Put them in there. Let them earn that money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when's it going to end, though, this? When's this knacker's going to end? Because they're talking now about £5 billion takeover, buying out all promoters in world boxing. Do these people think they can just come in and just buy a sport?
Well, yeah, of course they can. That's exactly what they can do, Russ.
Yeah, but that's
Russ,
not right.
No. Hold on. Yeah. And this is your fan base now. Remember your fan base when the Saudis were getting involved. I'm not sure about the human rights record, not sure about how they treat women. Now they can't wait for these Saudi cards.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember Bricktop though? When Eddie were doing business at Saudis, he were coming out screaming about StubHub and people getting thrown over off of buildings because they're gay and that. Now all of a sudden, Bricktop swapping spit with him in shower and holding hands.
Mate, just know this, yeah. All of these twats, yeah, that talk a tough game when it comes to boxing, they're the ones that eventually fold. That's why these Saudis know they can do what they want because they have the one thing that matters in boxing, and they have money. Yeah, they will make you dance. Like, someone asked me, do I think there are people doing sexual favors in all of this? And I said, probably. That's all. Probably. And what do you say to that apart from the game's the game? So all of these guys, all these hardcores, all these people who claim to be knowledgeable about boxing, that no one's a bigger fan than they are, they're the problem with boxing because they're stupid. That's what they're stupid. This has been coming for a long time. You all kind of hung in there. Oh, we'll wait for Undisputed. Years ago, I told you, get rid of this Undisputed thing now. Yeah? Get these belts circulating, get fights happening back in the UK before they don't happen in the UK anymore. I'm sure I've said this on your channel before.
Yeah,
now the fights don't happen in the UK. I talk to kids now, and I'm like, what about you fighting so-and-so? I'll do it if the Saudi money's there. I'm hearing this from boxers now. I'll fight that guy there for the Saudi money. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, God help us. God help us.
It's crazy, isn't it? Absolute craziness, mate, what's gone on. But when you're seeing people like Eddie and Frank and other people in industry, all willing to like sell the souls. But I think Matcham would sell the soul. They'd love to bail out with millions, wouldn't they? Do something else. And I think Bricktop, I think he would as well. I think they all would. And then they'd just be happy, wouldn't they? Because it's about money for these people, isn't it? It's not about the sport. They all say they love the sport, but I can assure you, If somebody said to Bricktop, we'll give you 50 million to retire, he'd be gone, wouldn't he?
Nah, he'd never go. I don't think he
What, do you
could have
reckon
gone.
Bricktop will be tucked to his grave like Aram, kicking and screaming in his 90s?
I think Frank loves it. I honestly think Frank loves it.
Do you?
Yeah, he loves it. You know what? People don't really understand how this game works, Russ. Here's what's happened. The Saudis have come, and people think the best thing they did is make fights happen. I say, no. The best thing that they did is they took away the requirement for Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren to find hundreds of millions of pounds. Because if you think about Fury versus Dillian White when that was on Queensbury, how long did Frank have to put whatever that purse was, 30 million? How long did he have to put 30 million in escrow for? Number one, Russ, how many people have 30 million quid?
Yeah.
Liquid. You know wealthy guys, right, Russ? If you said to your wealthy mates, I need you to find me 30 million quid, it doesn't happen overnight.
No, it don't. It don't.
And it's not because they're poor. It's, right, I'd have to get out of
They've got
these
their
shares.
accountants every time they fart, to them who I know.
Yeah. Or it's like, right, I'd have to take a mortgage out against my office block over here and a mortgage against here. And I just, short-term mortgage on that. They do all sorts of crazy stuff to pull the money together. They're wealthy, but no one has that kind of cash because if the banks go tits up, you're screwed. Right? So every time a fight like that happens, those promoters have to sit on that money. And they've got to find that money from somewhere to pay the boxers. And then they've got to hope that their show makes enough money that they can pay that back. Right? People don't talk about this, but this is a reality. Turkey comes along and says, you ain't got to do that anymore. I'm bankrolling these events.
Yeah.
See, you just made the promoter's life a lot easier.
A lot easier. What? They're giving their 20% on shows that they're not even having to put on. I mean, it's like winning the fucking lottery to Eddie and Frank, isn't it?
There you go. People don't understand that part of it. That's the real win for Eddie Hearn, is that he doesn't have to commit any money to Joshua fights anymore. What's the last Joshua fight he paid for?
Pool off. I'm not sure.
Maybe Usyk won?
Yeah, well, Tottenham won, wasn't it?
Yeah. Usyk 2.
Yeah.
Well, Usyk 2 was in Saudi.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of them have been in Saudi, haven't they?
Well, I know, I'm not going to say who, but there's promoters in UK that are like, well, they're not going to be bothered about anybody now because they're giving their 20%. They're not having to put their hand in the pocket. It's free gratis all the way across board for them, isn't it? That's why they're hanging out the back of these sand Arabs. But this is how I look at it, mate. It won't last. I don't see it lasting because the atmosphere's crap in it. You were telling me them atmospheres over there, Terry, is good.
You'll get used to it.
You reckon?
Yeah, you'll get used to it. It'll become normal. You just have to watch enough of them. It'll become normal.
No more Sweet Caroline, is there?
Nah, man. You might get a call to prayer. You might all have to just drop to your knees and pray.
I'm glad anyway. But okay then. Go on, sorry.
That's what I was going to say. The other thing that we don't talk about, and this is another reason why the Saudi money is a godsend, the broadcasters aren't paying anything. They're just like, we will buy the rights off you and, we'll do it. And that's it. They have no one from this country has any costs when it comes to Riyadh season, but they make all the money back because they can sell the pay-per-views and all of that sort of stuff. That's how they get their money, risk-free.
Yeah, they're not bothered, are they?
No, not at all. But the big risk is, Russ, you know what it's like. It's like the old hustlers mentality. I'm going to get you hooked on a couple of rocks. I mean, do you a good deal on those until I got you really, really, really hooked. Now I'm going to have you doing runouts in Selfridges, or I'm going to have you nicking cars for me, all that sort of stuff. But addiction will do crazy things to people, even boxing promoters. So once they get hooked on that Saudi cash, boxing's headed for a very dark place.
Well, they're selling the souls, aren't they, basically? Selling the grown men. grown men selling their souls and their arseholes. That's how I look at it, mate. These are supposed to be roadman killer, pretend gangsters involved in boxing who say this and say that. And then you see them behaving like that, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe it, mate. I just can't believe it, mate, that these people can come in and make these people like Eddie and Frank, Bricktop and Eddie Hills, turn into performing monkeys. That's how it looks to me, mate, honestly, looking at it from outside.
What people will do for the love of money.
Yeah, people lose their minds, won't they? People lose their minds for a few quid.
Look, you got people saying, I'll come out of retirement for that Saudi cash. I'll fight this guy who'll do it in Saudi Arabia. I'm like, what?
What, like John Fury and Joe Egan?
Oh,
Coming
man.
out of retirement.
No, even guys like Amir Khan. And like everyone's now like, if there's a Saudi check, I'll take it. And what we're going to get to very soon, Russ, is a point when they've exhausted all the fights the fans want to see. Yeah. We're getting very close to that because now Fury Usyk is done and Fury looks a bit washed and Usyk looks a bit washed. No one cares who Joshua fights now. Now Joshua's becoming relevant. So now what big fights are you going to generate? We're going to be forced to believe that certain fights are huge fights when they're not. Joshua Dubois is not a huge fight. It's an okay fight, but it's not a huge fight.
Don't you think that happens at Wembley?
I think it will, but the Saudis are bankrolling that.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we?
That would not happen. That fight would not happen if British promoters had to put the money up for it. They don't have the money.
What do you think Eddie's trying to do? Get that Turkey to invest in UK and show him that they can turn a profit?
No. Turkey's just like, wherever I want to do a show, I'm going to do a show.
He just loves boxing him, doesn't he? Triple T.
No, I think he understands the game, and the game is to promote Saudi Arabia. We haven't seen this much Saudi anything in our lives, Russ.
I know.
You really think they care about 100 million when the whole world is seeing that Riyadh season logo? The whole world is seeing the Saudi flag. The Saudi flag hashtag, its use has gone through the roof, Russ.
I know.
That's all they wanted. It's worth it. Well, for what they're paying, it's worth it, man. They've played this so intelligently because they know what boxing fans are like. Boxing fans love a natter and a gossip and a chat. So they'll keep Turkey's name in their mouth. Like, Turkey loves it. Because remember, on the algorithm, it doesn't matter whether you like someone or hate someone. As long as you mention them, they move up the rankings. Look at Turkey, superstar now, thanks to boxing fans. We didn't even know that he owned a football club, did we?
Did he? Does he?
You think he owns Almeria in Spain?
Jesus.
We didn't know that. And football's a bigger sport. Look at what boxing did for him.
I know. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know he owned a football club. He's obviously got a few quid, hasn't he?
Mate, when you're in the right place in Saudi, of course you got a few quid, mate. I mean, give me an oil well, I'll be good.
I know. Max won last week. Big Max.
Mate, I see him put one of them body shots in. The guy just said, "Nah, not today, mate." He just sat down.
What did I say? I said Max had a thudding jab on him, didn't I?
Yeah, but it was a nice one. Went right in the solar plexus.
Dennis was running around telling everybody that he showed Max how to jab. He says, I had to mention him. I did the same thing with Max that I did with Clinton and Jamie McDonnell.
Mate, so Max is going to be an IBF champion. Perfect.
Max is going to win IBF.
There you go. I think he's ranked number 16 at the moment.
Well, British, Commonwealth, European, and a world title like Jamie McDonnell and Clinton won with Dennis. The clean sweep, they call that, don't they, Terry?
Yeah, I think because, like, who would I put him in with now?
Dave Allen, they're talking, aren't they, this year with Max as a.
Nah, too easy.
To eat Max.
Put him in with Big Baby Miller.
Big Babe. Well, Dennis might do. Yeah, he might get Max 100 grand, take his 50, give Max 50, and he might invest Max's 50 for about 15 years in summer.
I think Max could beat Jerome Miller.
You think Max does Jerome Miller?
3 rounds.
He needs to put some weight on then to get in with Miller.
Nah, he's perfect, man. What's Max now? 21 stone? Solid, ripped.
Max, Max is not ripped. Terry, come on, stop being controversial.
Mate, he's in good shape.
He's in good shape.
Who's training him now?
I don't really know who's training him, Terry, but I know it's not Julian, but Dennis might be doing bits with him. I mean, he's been showing him a few moves and that, but Max, to be honest, he soaks it up like a sponge. But if you're walking around 4 stone overweight, you can't get about, you can't move out of the way at shots, and you can't land your shots if you're 4 stone overweight as an heavyweight. If you get a fit heavyweight, right, and put him in gym and throw some weights in a rucksack on his back and say, now let's see you not punch bag with 4 stone on your back, it's hard work.
Yeah, you're telling me.
So Max needs to get some timber off, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think everyone does. All those heavyweights do. They just like, we need to get back to the days when heavyweights were about, even the biggest ones were about 235, 240.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, won't we? But Max needs to be now. Max's weight? He needs to be about 230, doesn't he?
How tall is he? 6'7", 6'8"?
Max is 6'3".
Yeah, about 230. He'd be solid. He's got that Viking build to him. He'd be all right.
Yeah. We'll see, won't we? We'll see. Frotcher's got 100,000 subs now. Have you seen him with his plaque?
Listen, man, he needs to share that plaque with the guy that resurrected his online career.
Don't you be saying no else, you'll get me in trouble.
He's
done well, hasn't he? He's done well. He's done that in a year, so that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, he's good at delivering the message. That's all I'm going to say. He's very good at delivering the message. And sometimes you need Carl to deliver that message because they weren't listening to it when it came from other people.
Yeah. Other certain YouTubers were saying things that Carl says now. They won't listen to that person. But now Carl's saying it. They're all listening, aren't they? Isn't it amazing how when people can do that?
Remember I told you, most men act like girlfriends.
Well, we'll see. But like I said, I'm buzzing. He's been sticking it to everybody.
Yeah, you can't say anything about him either. You can't question Carl Froch.
How can you question the Cobra, an Hall of Famer, MBE, and he finished his career banjoing Groves at Wembley in front of 80,000?
Listen, Groves sued after that because the ring was slippery.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what happened. He injured his knee, so he couldn't get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how is Groves anyway? Has he recovered from that? Has he got down from Button Moon?
He was not Button Moon, man. I know he slipped on the canvas. It happens. He did his knee, and he's all right. He was sparring Adele Youth a few weeks ago, man. He's still, still at it. A bit bigger than I remembered him, but he's still at it.
Yeah, well, he looks better. He looks better with hair transplant, eh? Yeah. Andy Lee, Sugar Hill, and John Fury. Now that they're out at picture, and obviously people are saying Pat Barrett's in mix and Dominic Ingle, blah blah blah. That's the quiet whisper. Oh, if you don't go with them, I think you'd go with.
You.
Don't say me. Go answer the question properly, Terry.
Can you imagine you two together? Do about behind the gloves and just come with all the things you've said.
Hey,
You
listen,
guys are...
I used to get on with Tyson. Me, he used to
Oh,
texting
man.
me 4 a.m. Big essays at 4 a.m. Big as an A4 page. That's Dave Allen. I was like, Jesus. Dave Allen used to call at my house after his run in the morning, 6 o'clock. I'd still be up. He'd jog by and go, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'd still be up. He'd come in, I'd be there in dressing gown, out my mind. He would probably do it the same thing. I'm going back years, man. This is I'm going back. He were after he'd done Vladimir. After he did Vlad.
Wow.
Who told me to get that RAV4?
Nah,
I went to get a
I'd have
Land
told you not
Cruiser.
to.
I says to Big them, he goes, get a RAV4 because he'll last forever. And I've had it nearly 10 years. That.
What RAV4?
I've got a Toyota RAV4, that white one. I've had it since 2015. Still 2016 Feb. So I've had it eight year, 4 months. No, it's not 10 years. It's 8 year, 4 months I've had it, and it's never missed an heartbeat. No, I mainly use it in winter, don't I? But it was him who got me to get that. Tyson, he's proper into his cars and all that. Like, he knows what models are good.
He's upgraded a few times since then.
Well, every now and then we see him flying around in a 2001 Passat, don't we? When he tries to make out he's just a normal bloke.
Yeah.
But okie dokie. So I've got Jeff Hines on it morning, and I got Mikey, who I was with in Brown Hills yesterday in West Midlands. He's coming on tomorrow morning at 11. That's a two-parter. Jeff Hines for a one-parter. And that's about it, really. What you got planned for the weekend, Terence?
Right then. So it's the Harringay Box Cup.
Yeah.
So the wheels will start turning for that tomorrow. And then my weekend starts when that finishes, I guess. I'm going to see Riku Saturday evening. Can't even tell you what time because it depends on when we're done. And then just relax on Sunday.
Well, are you going out for a beer with Rico?
I don't know if I can drink, man. Like I'm ill, so I'm trying not to consume too much alcohol.
Oh, you've been missing your brandy, Terry.
Hey, listen, the brandy misses me.
You know what? Do you know when you train hard, when you eat correctly and all that? Do you know what? Once you kill it, it's when you go buy a bottle of that, innit, Tell?
Mate, I got a stash here. Like I've drunk so infrequently, Russ, in the last probably 3 years that I've just got loads of alcohol here. Like I buy it and never drink it. And I'm just trying to be healthy. Yeah, just trying to take better care of myself now and just stay healthy.
Yeah, I'm like that myself. I'm a bit more shredded as well at the moment. You can get addicted to getting shredded, can't you?
See, because like with me, I love being active. Like when people say to me, "Do you train for anything?" I say, "I just love being active."
Yeah.
Like if I'm not active, I become quite destructive. That's how I got into a lot of trouble as a kid. Like when I had sport, I didn't cause any trouble. But then when I had time to myself, oh my God. Yeah.
Right.
You know.
I know.
That's why I stay active now. Like I say to people, Fitzroy Lodge saved me. Without Fitzroy Lodge, I would probably be dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You listen, do you think I should get Max on channel? I said he can't come on unless he has a proper boxing fight. I was told that fight overnight were a white collar, but it's on box rec now, so have I got to have him back on?
Listen, Max might be the next big heavyweight star. I think he should be on.
He's dedicated at the moment, Max. I mean, he's doing big hill runs up Scarborough.
Good. Where's he living? I thought he was living in Luton.
Yeah, I think he's in Luton 4 nights or 5 nights, and he's back there at weekends, isn't he?
So who's training with then? He's supposed to be training with someone around there.
I don't know. We'll have to have him on and ask. He's back in mix, isn't he? He's on everybody's tongue. His KO ratio is better than Big John Fury's. Pop, pop, bang.
Yeah, there you go. You see, I think Max would have beaten Akin one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Max against what about Steve Garber, who put John Fury on bottom moon?
I'll be a draw.
That'd be a draw. That okay. Yeah. You're mad, you Terry. You need locking up. We'll finish off on this last one then. Spanner Marshall. You've probably seen her MMA debut. I'm going to give my opinion first before you give yours. I thought she was terrible and she's going to stick to boxing. And I get on with Savannah and I've known her years. I thought it was shocking. And she was like a fish out of water, but her fitness and her punching power got her through. But she'd get mauled if she took that as a career, wouldn't she?
You've got to respect. I tell people this all the time. Like when I talk to MMA guys, I talk to them and I say, just because you hit a punch bag and because you spar other MMA guys, don't ever in your life believe you can jump in the ring with a boxer and be competitive. Yeah. And then I say the reverse to boxers. Don't believe for a second you can jump on that MMA mat and start messing with those guys. I am telling you this now for absolute nothing. Yeah. And I remember this. When I used to do Muay Thai up at the Wicker in Sheffield, I went back home, yeah, to see my mates. And one of them was trying to talk slick. And I gave him a leg kick, yeah? I booted his thigh, Russ.
Yeah.
He just dropped immediately.
Yeah.
Buckled. I mean, like, showed us the leg at football, just completely blacked out. And that was when I was doing all my sessions, just, conditioning the legs and that. Boxers can't take those kinds of kicks. They can't. Never mind being picked up and slammed on your head by someone that can wrestle. The things Savannah Marshall's going to have to learn to be, not good, by the way, to be competent at MMA are insane, because she'll never be a good wrestler because she's the other side of 30 now. But she's going to have to learn how to defend takedowns. If she can defend takedowns and defend leg kicks, then she can let her punch power take over. But those are big ifs, if I'm being honest with you. I thought the fight went the way it was always going to go. If Savannah Marshall hits this young woman, it's a wrap. And so it proved. But you can't always get away with that. Ray Mercer did, but James Toney didn't.
Right, James Toney got dealt with in half a minute. Ray Mercer managed to knock that guy out with an uppercut, didn't he?
Yeah. But look, here's Savannah Marshall's problem. There is no one in boxing we want to see her fight. And I'm not saying that to be bad. I'm just saying she's fought all the people we wanted her to fight.
And she had nowhere to go.
Yeah, boxing's done for her. Boxing's done for Clarissa Shields too. Like, there's nothing left.
Yeah.
And like, the women in the amateurs are looking at what's happening in the pros and going, I'm making more money over here. Why am I turning over?
You mean the women at EIS?
Globally.
Yeah.
If you look at amateur boxing globally, so if you look, a good example of it is Kelly Harrington. Kelly Harrington won the Olympic gold 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
She's making a healthy 6-figure income from sponsorships and stuff. What's she going to turn pro for?
Yeah.
You mean she's a national hero in her country? Why turn pro?
Yeah.
Estelle Mosley, Tony Yoka's ex-wife, she's got to do the Olympics again. She makes much more money being an Olympian than she does being a pro boxer. So why bother? That's what's going to kill women's boxing, the fact that it's just more lucrative to be an amateur than it is to be a pro.
Yeah. I see. Okie doke. Anything you want to add, Terry?
We need
Give
to
anybody a shout out?
Nah, man. I just want to shout out, actually. Let me shout out State of Mind over in Hammersmith. Barry O'Connell. Really, really good man. Like, really welcomed me into their gym. Show me more love than other clubs that owe me more have ever shown me. So I do really respect Barry O'Connell, mate. Real switched on trainer. And I like his approach because he comes at it from a different perspective from me. Like, he's an ex-Marine. So he really zeroes in on the things that worked for him in the Marines, and he imparts those into his boxers. And like, you're seeing the results of it now. So he's training Zach Chelly at the moment. So we'll see what happens against Callum Simpson. But I've got high hopes for Zach working with Barry. But got a lot of love for State of Mind. Always treated me well. always show me love, and like that's all you can ask for. I wish him all the best. If you're ever in West London, you get to Hammersmith, pop into State of Mind. It's a hell of a facility as well.
Brilliant. Okie doke. Well, have a good evening, Terry. What's left of it, and I will probably speak to you at some point over the weekend. How's that?
And I appreciate it, mate. You take care.
All right. God bless.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was Terry from London. Women love him, men want to be him. Rico, I know you're listening. I hope you're well. Don't let boxing get you down, lad. Give me a bell on Saturday night when you're out with Terry. We'll have a chat. All right, kid? Right, that's about it. Big shout to my pal Frank Smith in Bury and Big Dave and Big Rick. Hope you're all okay. And Danny. Okie dokie. Well, peace out.